everyone. Welcome to Facts and Two Cents. How are you doing? This is Pedal. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Let's bring this music down. It's like blaring in my ear. Anyways, hope you are having a great time wherever you are. Welcome and welcome again. As you know, this is a channel that supports the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Harry, Meghan, Archie, Baby Lily, Mama Doria, Polo, Guide the Chickens, the Invictus community, all of us here at Sussex Squad. And, you know, some of us may not be exactly Sussex Squad, just Sussex supporters and hanging out from all over the world, wherever you are. So welcome. Let's see, let's bring the music down a bit. And we'll go into chat and see who is here hanging with us on this what is today? Thursday? Yeah, today's Thursday morning. Let's see, let's stop this, jump into the chat. Hello. Oh, hi, Lydia is here. Awesome moderator Lydia is here. And oh my goodness, Nutty Doctor, I haven't even started. Thank you so much. I appreciate you always supporting us. Thank you. Nutty says, miss many of the live chats. Please continue your good work. Oh, thank you so much, Nadia. I appreciate it. I am glad to see you here today back in the chat. I assume being a doctor, you are busy. So you are busy doing much more important things than I could be doing. So there you go. You keep on doing what you're doing. So thank you so much for your support. Robert is here. Hi, Robert, hanging out with us from Rome, having a drink for us. You know my drink, Martinelli's, or cranberry Martinelli's. That's mine. Let's see who else is here. C-Mac, Gwendolyn, Auntie Jane, Dory, Ghislaine is here, Sugar Queen, now we're up to 78. So some people are not in the chat. You know, they just rather listen. That is absolutely fine. But, you know, if you want to come join us in the chat, that would be awesome too. So welcome. Let's see. Teslin. I missed Teslin. Hello, Teslin. I missed you there in the chat. Gracie is here. Hello, Gracie. Gracie's like, oh, where is she? Where's Gracie? I just missed. This thing jumps, and every time I go to click on something, it jumps away from me. I'm almost like, what happened to the thing I was just going to tweet a second ago? So Gracie's like, hello, Pedaling Squad family. Hello there, Gracie. Let's see, Emma Day. Yep, Emma Day is here. Oh, thank you, Emma Day. Good morning, everyone, on this wonderful Thursday. Absolutely wonderful. And if you're in New York, you're enjoying a fabulous day. It's beautiful, it's nice and sunshiny. So that is absolutely awesome. So let's see. I am scrolling up to see if I missed anybody. I don't think I missed anyone in the chat so far. So Mary G just joined us. Hi, Mary G. So welcome. Please, you know, click the subscribe button if you're here for the first time, or if you've been here before and you just haven't joined, you haven't subscribed, please do what that little scrolly thing on the bottom says. Join us, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you know when we drop a video. So yeah, we want you to know when we're coming on so that you can join us, hopefully. So thank you. Oh wow, Glenn, I'm telling you, thank you so much for the super sticker, Glenn. I appreciate it. Appreciate your incredible support. Thank you. Thierry has joined us. Dolores, Cookies and Cream, our other awesome moderator. Karen Williams is here. We have another Karen, obviously, a moderator, Karen M. Hopefully she joins us. Rosalie has joined us. Hello, guys. Cheryl. Hi, Cheryl Harrison from Barbados, my Bajan sister. Hello there. How are you? Barbados is obviously one of my favorite islands. One of my favorite a couple of my favorite childhood memories from Barbados. So, my Bajan sister is in the house. So, anyways, so lots of stuff has been happening the last couple of days, apart from Meghan doing the interview with Gloria Steinem. Today, you know, the Sovereign Grant report comes out, and, you know, it just, It's one of those things you go, oh, of course. But oh, Kanita's asking how is Church Nelly? I yesterday I saw her on the on Baron's chat, so I'm assuming she's feeling better. Don't know if she'll be joining us today. Hopefully she does join us. That would be wonderful. But if not, she's probably still recovering. That is fine. We'll send her thoughts, prayers, good wishes, get well soon, chicken soup, and all that wonderful stuff. So until she gets over her cold. So, anyways, back to what's been happening. So again, yeah, the sovereign grant report comes out, and we know. I mean, if we've been, if you've been around the block here for a while, you know what happens when the sovereign grant report comes out. The royals will try every which way to distract, from you seeing the fact that they're basically not that they're not taking it from people, but in a way it is like a scam. It's like you're scamming people, with the aid of the government, scamming, British people out of $102 million. Million pounds, I should say. I'm in the US, so I always think in dollars. So if we're talking about the sovereign grant, this is the UK. So if I say dollars, please forgive me, because that's how my brain automatically works. It's always been dollars, whether it's in the Caribbean or here. It's always been dollars. So we're talking about pounds today, but if I somehow mix it up and my brain go back to saying dollars, please know that I mean pounds. So when we're talking about sovereign grant, UK sovereign grant, the British royal family, know that I mean pounds, not dollars, even if that's what I say. So just so because I know well, I've done that before, and I got all the comments, pedal, it's not dollars, it's pounds. So I get it. My brain is just wired to think pounds. That's why. So there. Okay. But before we get to that, our faves, I'm like, I need to start with something cute and positive. And I'm not even into fashion and stuff, but I just love the fact that our fave Meghan is inspiring the world. And not that Meghan is the first person to ever wear an all-white suit here. I'm not saying that. But since she has worn this suit, it has become a thing. It has become a thing, for people wearing white suits. And so everybody and their mother has been like showing up in these all white suits. And it's just, it's cute. Meghan looks amazing in it. And she just sort of sparked this trend for this summer. I guess this is the summer fashion, these white suits. And we all know how fantastic she looked at the Invictus Games at The Hague. And I was like, look at this girl. She just, and of course, I think the middle picture there is of President Biden. All of a sudden my brain just went away there. President Biden's wife. President Biden's wife, Jill Biden, our first lady. All of a sudden, like, I don't even know what I'm talking about. That's what happens when I'm talking about fashion. I know nothing about fashion, and I should have stayed away from it, but I just needed something really cute, and I was like, I like this. Someone posted it on Instagram, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to talk about this for a second, just to not have to jump into the nonsense on Shutter Island for a second. But this is just me stalling. So just so you know, if you have any doubts about what I'm doing, I'm just literally stalling. So anyway, so I just love this fashion. It was fantastic. We all know she looked amazing. And so we have varying, a variation of that white suit at the bottom with all of these people, especially, I love Dr. Biden. I just love her. And one of the things with Dr. Biden is this is not the first time she's wearing something that is inspired by Meghan. She has done that before. She's done quite a few of those. Not exactly, but when you see it, it's like, inspiration Meghan. She's very supportive of Harry and Meghan, very supportive. And we know she works a lot with the veteran community, and so she also did the Zoom chat with Harry and all the bunch of veterans and stuff. And so she's definitely very much inspired. A lot of her wardrobe is inspired by Meghan. It's really cool to see, I guess even Boris Johnson's wife on the far right there was inspired. So she is trying her version of the white suit as well. I was like, well, whatever. Try your thing, girl. Try your thing, imitate our fave. That's fine. I guess imitation is the, sincerest form of flattery, as they say. That's right. Sister says Dr. Jill has always been supportive of Meghan, especially her wardrobe. Absolutely. Like, yeah, exactly. So again, not like she doesn't wear exactly, but when you see it, there is no doubt where the inspiration comes from. Yes, Terry's like Dr. Biden wearing that white suit also. Yeah, she is. So, and I think she's away. I think it's in Spain with the president. So they're doing something there. I didn't pay attention to what they're doing. So yeah. But very cool. Moving on from my little distraction delay tactic here. We've been talking a lot about Harry and Meghan and the people they choose, to be around them, the family that they choose. And my other, we talk a lot about Nacho. And you see, Church Nelly, you should have been here. But we talk a lot about Nacho and, Nacho's relationship with Harry. But one of the things as well is Harry's relationship with Prince Cecil. And for me, I always look at Prince Cecil and Nacho as Harry's brother. I mean, they have such a great relationship. And of course, we know that they started Sente Bali to honor both of their mothers who died. And so they are, and this is them in Lesotho, as you can see, very young Harry. I guess would be probably around the time when he started Sente Bali with Prince Cecil. And this is a blanket that I guess the community gave to Harry, and it says, "We thank you, Harry." And so you can see Prince Cecil putting it around him and pinning it. It came with, I guess, a big pin. So and a lot of people in the community there were also wearing the same blankets, so they all end up with the same blankets. And Francisco put his on as well, and so it was really wonderful. And for me, when I always think of the people, if I were to give Prince Harry a brother, definitely Nacho and definitely Prince Cecil, because they have an incredible relationship. And Prince Cecil, whenever you talk to him, he's always standing up for Harry, always defending him. It's just a beautiful. And I always feel like, Prince Harry met him, such a long time ago at really one of the darkest periods when he started going to Africa after his mom passed. And so he always talked about really being embraced by the people in different African countries. And so I think Prince Cecil was one of these people. And as you can see too, Prince Harry was very young at this time when he was there. I think also this was part of, when he was going through those teenage years and he went to different countries in Africa, and that really helped him a lot to really decide, like, okay, I want to do something as opposed to just always going out and partying and getting drunk and getting into mischief. So I just love these pictures. I hadn't seen this one, and I just happened to come across it, and somebody posted it on Twitter, and I was like, this is just beautiful just to see their relationship again, because again, we've been all on Nacho lately, and I was like, don't forget Prince Cecil. Prince Cecil is also his brother, and they do have that kind of relationship. But again, they do have Sente Bali together. Sente Bali is both of theirs. So I just love that. Sitchin says, I saw that clip, a video clip. Harry was so playful. Yeah, he was it is so Harry. The same way he is with Nacho, the same playfulness he is with Nacho is the same way he is with Prince Cecil. And that's why I think of those two as his brothers, because he seemed to have the same kind of relationship, those, brother relationship with the both of them. So I love it. I should have posted who brought the clip and who posted the clip, and I didn't think about it. So yeah, so definitely, absolutely, positive mind attracts, says Imelda. Absolutely. And I just think it's great. And it's just, happened to be both of them. They are both princes and both lost their mothers. And, it's, yeah. And I think that if I'm not mistaken, I think the Sentibali means forget me not. I think, which I think is Princess Diana's favorite flower. I think so. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not versed in all of that sort of thing, but I think that's I think that's what that is. So, anyways, moving on. Let's see what anybody else is saying in the chat before I move on. V Thomas says, "Hello everyone. Didn't get notification. Sorry, V. This was one of those impromptu last minute 15 minutes. So I think that's why YouTube may have not sent out the notification. Usually they do it like an hour when you've done it an hour, when you set it up like an hour before they will send out notifications. So sometimes I just don't know if I'll have everything I need within because my schedule is really crazy. So I always hesitate to do the to make this earlier and then have to cancel it. And so I'm very much not wanting to cancel. So I always want to wait until I know I have everything I need before I make it. And sometimes, unfortunately, it's the last minute. So sorry. Sorry. Cookies and Cream says, I'm so proud of Prince Harry and the man he's become. Princess Diana is looking down, smiling at him. And I like to think so as well. I absolutely like to think so as well. I mean, from all the things and all the way he was reported, a lot of it we know is not true. And a lot of it very much exaggerated with, his teenage years and in the stuff that the press was reporting. But whatever was true and whatever not. I mean, obviously I wasn't paying attention at that time, so I don't, I didn't go into investigate stuff. But whatever happened back then, to see what he has done with his life and to see how he's honored his mom with his life, I'm telling you, what's not, if I was a mom, not a mom, but if I was a mom, I would be so proud. I would be so proud of what he's done. And, so I just, I hope he knows that. And I'm sure he does. Judging from, say, his interview with Hoda, it's like, I know his mom would be proud of him on what he's done. So, yeah, Gwendolyn says, cookies and cream. Absolutely. He's his mother's son. Absolutely. Oh, Sister's giving some info. She said it was during Harry's gap year when he was in Africa. That was when he grew out his beard. Oh my gosh, he grew out his beard. Pedal, yes, correct. It's also the meaning in Sesotho language. Tongue tie there. Thank you so much. I figured it was something around that I heard. I just wasn't 100% sure. So thank you so much, Sister. So thank you so much. I appreciate the edu. So and that's why I love this community, because some things I just don't know, and I could just depend on someone in the chat knowing this information. And I really I appreciate a knowledgeable audience. I appreciate a knowledgeable community, not even audience. So that's just so not, no. We're a community. I appreciate a very knowledgeable, very educated community. So when I get it wrong, you can like kick me in the butt and be like, that's not right. So I appreciate that. Nutty Doctor says, we need to get this channel up to 5,000 soon. Please. Yes, please. That would be fantastic. That would absolutely be fantastic. Oral says, hi, Oral. Oral says, and this time the British press keeps saying that we are paying for it. Now they are paying for it themselves. Not sure exactly what you're referring to specifically, so maybe help me out there, Oral. Help me with exactly what you mean. I don't want to assume. So anyways, let's move forward as I, away from my stalling. Well, actually, not even just yet. Oh, thank you so much, Elaine Parker. I appreciate your super sticker. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys' support and your love and your encouragement, which I get a lot of. So thank you for supporting us. But anyway, so actually, just before I came on, I was just thinking again about the interview with Gloria, and just was just looking and see some of the people, I mean, there's a lot of press for this, like of just about everybody picked this stuff up. But just just from today, I was just looking, just sort of flip through and just to see some of people who just reported about it. And as you can see, I mean, the normals like Hollywood Reporter and HuffPost, etc. But I was really happy to see what's called ERA. So it's like the Equality Rights Act, I guess. I'm sorry, the Equality Rights Amendment. They tweeted about it. So that of Illinois, actually, they tweeted about it, and I was really happy to see that. And also the Virginia National Organization for Women. So there are quite a few of these, and again, it was just a last minute thing that I just happened to see it, and I was like, oh, let's just see, who else. And obviously, one of the things that I loved about this too, if you looked at the top right, the very top, Vogue Arabia. I was like, this has gone around the world whenever Meghan and Harry do things. So many different, I mean, obviously, it was done through Vogue, but it's very interesting and very cool to see, Vogue from different parts of the world picking it up so that their readers can see, because it is so important. Human rights is important. Women's rights, especially in Arab nations, it's a thing. That has always been concerning. So when someone like Meghan speak up, not just for rights, again, she's specifically talking about rights in the US, but this applies to so many people in so many places, with the fact that women are treated as second-class citizens. And in the Arab world, that is a thing. So it's very cool for me to be able to see Vogue Arabia pick that up as well. So the fight continues. Glad Meghan is on board with Gloria and all the other amazing women and organizations who have been doing this all along. And so it's always great to have these people with big platforms, worldwide platforms, picking this up and hopefully shaming in America into doing the right thing. So there you go. Shame. I will never stop saying the shame in this country that this is still a thing in the year of our Lord 2022. So anyways, moving on away from my stalling. So the Sovereign Grant report came out today, because I was like, the last few days, I'm like, when is this thing coming out? I just couldn't get a date on when it was coming out. I think last year it came out on like the 26th or something. And so the Sovereign Grant report came out. And if you don't know what the Sovereign Grant, well, actually, it literally just tells you. It says the Royal Household today published an annual financial statement, the Sovereign Grant report. The Sovereign Grant is the funding provided to support the official duties of the Queen and maintain occupied royal palaces. It also includes dedicated amount of funds and 10-year resurfacing of Buckingham Palace, a major overhaul of essential building services, including electrical wiring, pipe work, boilers and generators, etc., etc., etc. Basically, it's, I think, a 10-year plan redoing and renovating Buckingham Palace to the cost of £360 million. That's right, £360 million. Remember how they were complaining about Harry and Meghan's 2.4 million? Yeah. Okay, yeah. Buckingham Palace, yeah, £360 million, I think, is a 10-year plan they're doing there. So if you notice when during the Jubilee, and you saw like the Queen came out, and on the balcony you see that like sort of like a thing curtaining off the back. Basically, Buckingham Palace is right now a construction site. So I think what I understood is that they had to create a path for them to get out to the balcony, because it's a construction site. They were doing a lot of renovations and stuff in the building. Apparently, it's just a very old building, and after a while, I guess it needs work to the tune of $360 million, and nobody's complained about it. So, or at least very few. Anyways, that is what the Sovereign Grant report, and the royal family's favorite tabloid. It's so funny. I saw a royal_reporter who is one of our squaddies who does all the archives. I love her. I love her page. So I'm always jumping on there to see what royal reporter posts. And so she posted this today, and from the Sovereign Grant report. And I thought this is the best breakdown I saw, because it was just very clear. It was just very to the point. And I was like, who did this? And then I found out it was the Daily Mail. And I was like, I'm just going to keep it. Why? Because this is the Daily Mail. The Daily Mail is their favorite newspaper, the royals' favorite newspaper. It's apparently the one that Prince Charles trusts the most. So I was like, okay, well, we'll just let the Daily Mail tell on you then. So since it's your favorite one, we'll just go right ahead and keep it and let the Daily Mail speak about what you're doing. And so this is kind of a breakdown on some, not all, but some of the spending that, the royal family has done in the past year. And especially when you look at the right, this is all their, a lot of their travels. So I'm going to post the Sovereign Grant. I'm going to post the report in the show notes so that you guys can peruse it. But it's kind of broken down into sort of like an overview and then the full length of everything. And then it's broken down into travel. And so if you look on the far right of this page, all of that is like a lot of their travel. And if you notice, you see charter, trains, and helicopter. This is what most of this over here is, like all the charter flights they've done and all the helicopter flights and train. And one of the things that stand out, if you look at the far right one, is a charter flight to attend the royal premiere of James Bond, No Time to Die. £32,000 it costs to go to a premiere. It's going to take, a private jet. Like, how did they get, like, a private jet? Well, like, how did it get there? It's like a private jet to go to the James Bond premiere. Like, what on earth? Like, I just don't even get how you can even, I just don't even get this. But, I mean, when you saw the red carpet and all of that, you're supposed to think, oh, but it's for charity. Apparently, it's supposed to be for charity. But, oh, yeah, we spent $32,000, And we talked about this where yes, the shameless offensive tour, the charmless offensive tour, all the way to the far right, the second one from the bottom, right above where it says Prince Anne charter flight to official Jubilee tour. This is the Cambridge's Jubilee tour. $226,000, 385, and it's just like, wow, you spend like $226,000 on a tour where you lost all the countries, all 3 countries you went to, you lost all of them, pretty much. And so it just, you're like, okay, we talked about in a previous episode where it says William and Kate. They took and that was when they were doing the memorial for Manchester, the Manchester bombing. We talked about that, and I showed you pictures, and we looked at that of William and Kate and their travel itinerary. We had pictures of their travel itinerary, and then when they landed in Scotland, that they were taking the helicopter, and sure enough, where it says William and Kate on the far right, that is the trip. That is a trip where they took a private jet to Manchester, took another private jet to Scotland, and then were flying around with a helicopter. £45,000, 190. And yeah, this is, when you think about you look at all of this, and it's kind of like charters and private and helicopter, charter, helicopter. And these are the same people that are, have earthshot, that are always talking to us about, climate change and all of this thing. They basically use a helicopter like we would use a car. It's like, literally, they would use a helicopter in that way. And all of them do it, from the Queen on down. They all use a helicopter. I mean, it is just unreal, the kind of thing these people do. And yet, when they do it, there is no outrage. But God forbid Meghan and Harry, with their 2 infant children, take a private jet back to the US. The whole world decides that they're hypocrites. Yet look at their flight, look at their, and this is just some. This is not all. You mean when you read the entire sovereign grant report, you'll see what I mean. You know, one of the things that if you look on the far left, third number down, 102 pounds. Well, last year, 102 million pounds, 152.4 million pounds. Last year, the sovereign grant, what they spent was, I think, 87 million pounds. This year, it jumped to 102.4 million pounds. Like, what exactly has the royal family been doing that it jumped to 102 million pounds? Like, I don't know. I mean, one of the things that they're saying, is like, well, we had the Jubilee and we had to, and it's just like, really? So I guess people are supposed to really feel like, they had the Jubilee, they had fun, so it's okay that the royal family spends 102 million of taxpayer funds. Like, I don't see what they've been doing. That is, you know what I mean? It's like, what have you been doing to spend 102? Like, I mean, I'm not in your, in the UK, so maybe y'all can justify it. Maybe that's okay for you. Maybe they, you can justify all the helicopter flights, all the private jets that your press is constantly attacking Harry and Meghan over. Maybe y'all can justify that. Maybe you can justify $32,000 to go to a premiere. I mean, it's just like, yeah, maybe y'all can justify that. And the thing is, it's always the thing of, well, they bring so much tourists to the UK and all that. People don't go to the UK to see the Queen and Prince Charles and, their family. People don't go to the UK for that. They go to see the castles and stuff. Who can really say, I went to the UK and I actually saw the Queen, that I actually saw Prince Charles? Maybe a few, if they know where they're going to be in an engagement or something like that. But I don't know anybody who's literally telling me they went there and actually literally saw a royal family member. They go to see the buildings. They go to see the sites. They go to see, what Buckingham Palace looked like. Not necessarily whether the Queen and the royal family is there or not. People will go to see the sites. They'll go to see the castles. They go to France, doesn't have that. Yet people still go to France and look at all the castles and all that stuff. This is not the royal family bringing it in. This is the sites bringing it in. If the royal family ceased to exist in the sense that they are abolished, people are still going to go to see these sites. So I don't know, this ridiculous justice thing like, oh, the royal family bringing in money. That is a lie. That is a blatant lie. Absolutely a lie, Again, I don't know anybody who can say, like, I went there and I actually saw a royal family member and that the royal family is who brought me to the UK. Maybe there are a few, but I don't know. And maybe I could be wrong. So y'all can correct me in the chat if I'm wrong. So I don't know how I just don't know how you justify this at all. And yes, this is the, this is the 32,000 pounds premiere of James Bond. And someone, apparently they came from Clarence House. They traveled from Clarence House to the Royal Albert Hall for this premiere. And so someone they mapped it. And apparently by car, it's 8 minutes. Now, how it cost them pounds, I'm sorry, I have no idea. On the thing that we saw, it says charter. Did they go, I don't know if a private jet, I don't know if that's the case. I mean, how you do that. But it could be a helicopter that they took, and could be all the security and all of that stuff that they had. I mean, this is how much it costs when you think of the cost to charities and stuff, whenever these royals show up at your charity that's supposed to benefit you. This is the kind of things that you see, because the cost of having them there is so high, the charity end up getting no benefit. And then who knows? I mean, I don't know if anybody in the chat could tell me what charity that they attended this event to help. Like, I don't even know what the charity is supposed to be, because the only thing people were focused on, and I remember, was Kate's dress. That's the most the publicity that got out of this And now we're hearing that, that publicity for her dress has cost taxpayers £32,000. And so again, what's the name of the charity that supposedly got benefit from this? From this 8-minute drive from Clarence House. And again, I am not in the UK, so I'm just going by what this person posted. And apparently this is mapped out, and it's an 8-minute drive that cost £32,000. I mean, again, try to justify that somehow. I don't know how you do it. And so this is just a couple of things that the Independent came up with this is says how much does the royal family cost? A breakdown of key figures, and here are some key figures from the royal account. And this is just a couple. This was last year. It was their spending was £86.3 million, and when you count it in, Harry and Meghan's, 2.4 million that they paid back for Frogmore, that really helped them to not go over budget, which they even admitted to last year. It says the tax 86.3 million. The total taxpayer funded sovereign grant made up of £51 million for the core funding and extra 34.4 million for servicing Buckingham Palace. And that was 20. And if you look at the top, it says 2020, 2021. So that was last year's report. This year's report is £102.4 million official expenditure by the monarchy, to a rise of £14.9 million, or 17% from £87.5 million 2020-21. And so or they put 87.5 million. The top says 86. Whatever it is, it's between 86 and 87 million pounds last year. This year it rose to 102.4 million pounds. I don't know what they did to spend that money. I can't see it, other than, I'm not even going to try to wrap my brain around that. Another thing that came out was the ethnicity report. Last year, we know Kensington Palace refused to disclose how many Black and brown people, or people of color, whatever you want to say, people that was a part of Kensington Palace. This year, Buckingham Palace and Clarence House, they were, I think, 8 and 9 and 8%, whatever it was last year. But this year, Buckingham Palace says they're up to 9.6%. Clarence House they're celebrating, I think, from 8 to 10.6%, and Kensington Palace are like, we are at 13.6. This only came out today, so I have not yet gone in to see what those numbers mean in terms of how many people that's actually working at these palaces. And again, just because you see these numbers does not mean these positions are in anything other than domestic, which is a lot of when they hire people, and people of color, Black and people of color, that's the roles that they usually are relegated to, a lot of them. So how many people are in positions of authority, positions of power, positions of leadership that are Black and brown people? I don't know. Again, this just came out this morning, so I have not had a chance to go through and look. So when I do, I'll probably drop an episode or something about that. But apparently this is where they are with ethnic minority people of ethnic minority backgrounds. So it's still not good. 9%, 10%, and 30% of your staff, that's still not good. But, it's like, whatever. I guess they're improving. And so, okay, we'll see. And let's see. And as we were just looking at a couple of seconds ago, the royal travel, when we think a lot in terms of, say, especially their charter flights or their private jets and their helicopter flights. I mean, the British taxpayers have just paid £4.5 million so that the royal family could fly around in private jets and, and helicopters and, some, scheduled flights, some, commercial flights, whatever. But the majority are private jets and, and helicopters. And it's like, yeah, 4.5 million pounds to have rich people, millionaires fly around, and it's unreal to me. And it's funny. But then if you look at the bottom, right under that, it talks about what, as you know, when Harry and Meghan were there, and Prince William, they're all paid their salary or their lifestyle, whatever, however you want to term it, were paid by Prince Charles from the Duchy of Cornwall. And so that didn't say come out of the sovereign grant, that came out of, from Prince Charles. So from his household, he is reporting that this year they paid out $4.4 million to Prince William, the other brother. And if you look right at the bottom now, it said the $4.4 million is only a $1.2 million decrease from last sovereign grant. Last sovereign grant, they also had Meghan and Harry on that sovereign grant. It's only a $1.2 million decrease from that. So it's just interesting. So because last year, they were, a lot of them were saying like, when they looked at the total that was paid out, they didn't say how much Prince William had made and how much Prince Harry, or at least how much Prince William was given and how much Prince Harry was paid. So a lot of people were just simply assuming that it was split in half. But according to when I'm looking at this, I'm like, no, that's not splitting half at all. If all the decrease is to time, if all the decrease is 1.2 million, that's not half, So that's why I didn't buy that whole, when Clarence House were like, yeah, they were paid a substantial amount. And a lot of people just had this idea that they were paid equal, they just split it down. I did not buy that at all. And from this, that's not what that says, and again, you look under that, the Cambridge's, that's just talking about the £226,000 that that the taxpayer paid for a shameless offensive tour that they lost 3 countries. So unreal. And this at the bottom here, and the highlighted parts, if you notice, it says others. There are like 4 pages of detailed all of their travel. So it's going to be in the show notes. You guys can go through that on your own. And so that way you can see a breakdown of all of their travels, where they went, when they went, who took those trips. You'll notice I don't think the Wessexes are on there, because I think they are paid privately by the Queen from the Duchy of Lancaster. So, and that's like the Queen's private money. So I don't think they are on this. At least I didn't see the Wessexes on this at all. So I think that's kind of how that worked. But if you look at the highlighted parts, look at the amount of trips they took by helicopter. 179 journeys. These are the eco warriors of the royal family. 179 trips for almost £1 million. And then 24 charters. And notice it says these are only trips costing less than £15,000 each. So this is just a summary of the others that cost less. So there are a whole lot more other than these. But from this part, it's like 179 journeys for almost £1 million. And then, the charter flights. It's just, it's unreal. It is unreal to me. Like 179 helicopter flights for people who are preaching about, about being green, about, the environment. And yet these same people, when you look at the press, how many times have you literally have you seen an article about how, their helicopter flights going around the UK and wherever else they fly their helicopters? Not many. But we saw everyone reporting when Prince Harry and Meghan took one flight. One. And this is the... And Joyce is so right. Joyce is like, yeah, Willie is the earthshot person. Yeah, right. Exactly. And so it is unreal to me that, they have the nerve, or gall and audacity to be attacking Harry and Meghan. And then, you see 175 179 helicopter flights and 24 private jets, which I'm sure it's a lot more. It's just what what they would report there. But it's unreal. The absolute hypocrisy of this to me. And so when you have all of that, what we just talked about, and then you have stuff like this, I mean, we just talked about Kate and Williams and their shameless tour, and then you have Prince Charles's mess, we talked about it, 2 episodes ago, about Prince Charles, taking money in a bag and a suitcase, all that cash. And then you get this, or is it yesterday, with this ridiculous thing from the palace. Scobie reports it. That's the middle one in the top middle. It says, a senior palace aide says Prince Charles will never again accept bags of cash. Will never again accept bags of cash following the reports that the royal received $3 million in cash from a former Qatari prime minister between 2011 and 2015. The source adds that the Charity Commission has not opened an investigation. As we said over the weekend, and this is what the palace person is saying, as we said over the weekend, it was passed immediately to the charities, and it was this charity who decided to accept the money. This is a decision for them, and they did so, and they confirmed and it followed all the right processes. The auditors looked at it. The Prince of Wales operates on advice, okay? Situation, context change over the years. For more than half a decade, with the situation as it evolved, this has not happened, and it would never happen again. So there, that was then, and this is now. And they are not the same. Yes, that is a report from the palace. I mean, I was reading this thing and I'm like, surely they did not put out this report, and sure enough, they did. And I was like, I mean, this is embarrassing. I mean, I would never to think this is from a palace of a future king. This is the report they're putting out there. And on top of all that mess, we have Ghislaine Maxwell just sentenced to 20 years in prison. Also, Prince Andrew, the FBI is still looking at Prince Andrew and like, he's not out of the woods, even though he paid that £12 million to Virginia. He's still not out of the woods because the FBI still want to talk to him. And then on top of that, we have the Queen will receive an inflation-defying bonus of nearly £30 million from the public purse over the next 2 years, thanks to an obscure rule, which means her income cannot go down. When you have all of this stuff happening, and then on top of that, your press is starting to be like, I don't know if I can cover y'all for that. When you have one of their favorite press, The Mirror, they're like, £100 million for the royals? Rein it in, and then you have people like Chris Ship writing, Palace spent 16.1 million more than earnings at Buckingham Palace rebuild ramp up when the cost of living crisis much harder to justify such sum in a palace. Total spend £102.4 million. Travel included 226 for the William and Kate's Caribbean tour. Chris Ship is not happy. And then he goes on to say, so on a day when the annual spending tops £100 million, Buckingham Palace says its inquiry into bullying claims against Meghan won't be made public to protect confidentiality and those of the staff who took part. Of course, when you have all of that stuff and you want to hide it, what do? As Omid says, Treasurer to the Queen, Sir Michael Stevens, also today briefed reporters on the palace decision not to release the findings of the inquiry into the handling of bullying allegations against Meghan. Yeah, when you have all of those things, what do you do? And Scobie says it has, in some cases, overshadowed coverage on royal spending. And that is exactly why he briefed the paper today about bullying, as we see the Daily Mail in the Rebecca English with her major headline, Meghan bullying inquiry buried, on a day when the British people should be focusing on the fact that royal spending went up 17% from 87 point whatever 0.5 million last year to 102.4 million. What did the royal family do? Talk about bullying. They know the thing that their tabloids will gravitate to. They know the things that their press will gravitate to and try to hide for them. By pulling out bullying claims again, they know how to hide the fact that they are basically grifting on the royals. And sure enough, this was our one of our, she's not a squatty, she's a Sussex supporter, but she posts all of these clips today. And because I knew what, it was like, I had in my mind, I was like, this is what they're, all of these morning shows, this is the story they're going to lead with, to distract people from the fact that they are being grifted, that they are being scammed basically out of $102.4 million. What are they all led with? Bullying charges. And Rachel, it's like Joseph Fan is her handle on Twitter. Thank you so much, Rachel _Archie_Lily. She's the one who posted all of these clips. And sure enough, as I went through all of them, the story that they led with, and this has been the biggest things for them, they led with this bullying, this lying, bullying accusations. This is what they did, and this is what the royal family, they knew how to cover themselves. They knew who to throw under a bus as usual, and this is what they do. Every single one of them, this is the story they led with. And so by the time you got to where they're talking about the sovereign grant report, you're not even paying attention to what they're talking about, because you are riled up. And if you're, one of their people, you're already riled up about, the smear campaign. You're not focusing on the fact that you got scammed out of 102.4 million pounds. And this is exactly why they did it. This is exactly why they briefed this today. This is exactly why they put it in the sovereign grant report, because they knew they needed to hide. And once again, the despicable royal family have used Meghan to their benefit. It is just, oh my gosh, it is so despicable. And so, yeah, and this is your morning news, and all of them, including as you can see on the far right middle, that's the BBC, including the BBC. Good morning, Britain. You see at the bottom right with Chris Ship. You have Jeremy Vine. This morning, Lorraine. All of them. That's what they're all led with. This bullying claims, and it is. Oh my gosh! I don't know how Harry and Meghan do it. I mean, I would have cut these people off such a long time ago. I'm like, And if that's not bad enough, this is how we came to this story yesterday. Prince Charles knew he needed cover. Prince Charles knew he needed cover. Because his carrying money, accepting money in a suitcase, accepting money in a bags, has really, even his favorite tabloids, the Daily Mail, has been going after him. And of course, they released that ridiculous note about, he's never going to accept cash again. And then none of it has gone over well. So what does Prince Charles do? He does what he always does, even when Harry and his other brother were children. And this is what Prince Charles, it was not even children and, teens and adults. He still tries to do the same thing. Use children to cover himself. And this is exactly how we got this article. When they were briefing yesterday about the sovereign grant, I guess they gathered reporters and they were briefing them about, I guess what to expect in the sovereign grant report. This is what they briefed about. You think about this happened, the Jubilee happened how many weeks ago? All of this time when they've been attacking Harry and Meghan and they've been banned for photography and the palette, the royal family has neglected them or rejected them, and all of these horrible things that their favorite tabloids have been saying, attacking the Sussexes. Prince Charles never said a word. He never said a word. He never spoke up in defense of them. Nothing. But now when Prince Charles is in hot water and people are starting to question whether he should be king, even his favorite tabloids are like, I don't think so. This is the story we get, and this is what they literally brief this. This is not a tabloid, tabloid journalist just coming from sources. This was literally briefed yesterday when they were briefing reporters about this. And this is what it says. This is from the BBC. Charles had a very emotional first meeting with Lilibet, says royal source. The Prince of Wales and his granddaughter Lilibet had a very emotional first meeting during the Platinum Jubilee. A royal source said Prince Charles was absolutely thrilled that by the Duke and Duchess's visit with their daughter and son Archie. The source added, "It is fantastic to see them. It is wonderful to have them back in Britain," the source says. The Prince and the Duchess the Prince and the Duchess, that's Charles and Camilla, were absolutely thrilled to see them. He said he said it was also very, very special for Prince Charles to spend time with his grandson Archie, now age 3. Speaking at the briefing, again, this is not just some palace source. This was at a briefing yesterday for the annual review. So speaking at a briefing on Clarence House's annual review, the royal source congratulated the Sussexes on their financial independence. Great credit to them, they said. They wanted to transition to financial independence, and that is how, and that has now been achieved, the source said. All of this is from Prince Charles's people. Notice again, when all of the stuff during the Jubilee and just after the Jubilee, when the press was attacking them, that they were shunned, that nobody wanted to be with them, that all of this stuff, that basically the royal family treated them as pariah, Prince Charles never spoke up. But now that he needs cover, now that he needs to take the attention off the fact that he's a crook, and, now that he needs attention away from the fact that his favorite, his favorite tabloids that he's been in bed with are all going against him, what does he do? Suck up to the Sussexes and use their children to cover himself. I'm telling you, I don't think I've ever seen in my entire life, and I hope to never see it again, of someone who claimed to be a father who does this to his child, and who does this to his children, and who does this to babies, that they will use babies as cover for themselves and for their own nefarious. I was like, I've never seen this. It is just so despicable to me. I am like, oh my gosh. And so I don't know, maybe Harry and Meghan sees this differently. I know that's one of the things during Oprah, Harry was said is one of the things he want to work on is his relationship with his father. But I don't know how you respect this. I don't understand. Respect is earned. And if I had a father how do you respect somebody like this? How do you respect someone who will use a child and children? I don't get this. You know what? Let me jump in the chat. Maybe I need to just stop, and maybe y'all can think and see this a little bit differently and a little more rationally. And I'm just irritated. So let me just see what y'all say. Karen Warner says, I keep saying all along, Charles always uses his sons from when they were small for PR and pin them against each other. Even use Princess Diana for PR. Yeah, there's evidence all over. Think about when Harry, that Harry's drug shame, that whole thing. That was that headline will never leave my mind. That they would write this about a child. They even interviewed the reporter who did it, and even to today, she has no shame about it. She loved it. Even the person interviewing is like, well, didn't you feel bad that you were writing that about a child? Basically, it was a teenager. No, she didn't. She still doesn't. She feels like it was a wonderful thing for her, and it's just like, I don't even understand that. And that was because the Prince Charles and his people used Harry to make him look like a good father when he wasn't, let's see, let's move on. Catherine Walker says, I hate that they use babies. Anything else is nothing to them. They are liars. The baby used. It just, again, whether it's using babies for PR, like the Cambridge do a lot of times, they use, this is basically using babies to cover cover themselves. Kaneetha says, if there was any evidence to show that Meghan bullied staff, the report would have been published. And not only that, it would have been leaked. Hello. That would have been leaked a long time ago, if there was any evidence. And so it just, oh my goodness. Laurette, let's see. Laurette says, news outlets and royals are in bed together, not hiding anymore. Out there to anyone who wants to see it can see it. I don't even feel bad for the Brits anymore. All of these corruption are there. No, I mean, look, there's only outrage for things, and I know, and that's not including squatties, British squatties, because I see British squatties and they are outraged, but the majority, it seems, are not outraged about all. They're just sort of like, oh, okay, well, that's that's how it is, and they move on. And it just, yeah, it's unreal. So it's kind of like, well, if you're not gonna say anything, I guess you accept things as they are, So yeah, goodness. Trevor Rodney, hi Trevor. Trevor says, now William is trying to get him out. He's running back to Harry. LOL. Yeah, so funny. Someone mentioned that too. Yeah, well, if that's what is William's doing of leaking all the stuff against him. Now that exactly. Now that he, his favorite press, including the Daily Mail, are questioning his ability and his fitness to be king. Now that all those gossipers that he is in bed with are basically turning on him, he's trying to run back to Harry. And it's just like, you laid Harry out to dry. The fact that if you guys remember, I keep talking about this, back in December when he tried to throw Harry under a bus, claiming that Harry is the one that introduced him to Mr. Mahfouz, who he, accepted that cash for honors. Yeah, that him. When he tried to throw Harry under a bus and Harry had to stand up for himself. And all of Prince Charles's buddies in the press were screaming at Harry that Harry throws his father under the bus. How dare Harry speak up, speak in that way to his father and all of that stuff. This man, it is, my goodness. Prince Charles is literally not fit to be leading anything. And again, this is one of the reasons I keep saying about the Commonwealth. And I am so upset that the leaders in Commonwealth countries have allowed this man to be nominated to lead the Commonwealth, to be head of the Commonwealth after the Queen goes away, and after she passes, not just like go away, but passes. But it is unreal that they're, and now we're hearing aghast, that they're uneasy. That I'm like, y'all need to be a lot further than uneasy. This is beyond the uneasy stage. This man should not be leading anything, So it's like, on top of all the mess he does, he is an absolute coward. An absolute coward. It takes a coward to use a baby as a shield, So unreal to me. Carolyn says that is why God will keep exposing them for who they are. They are evil to the core. Karma is now biting. They are evil, and karma, just do your thing. Do your thing, karma and the ancestors. So go ahead and do your thing. Let's see. Terry says Charles is too self-centered to think about anyone but himself. But again, he's spineless, weakling with no backbone. That's why he always takes the easy way out by using his family. Yeah, this man has not had to stand up for himself in any situation. He's always had people to fall under sword for him. He's never had to, put in a position when everyone, other than Harry, has been the only one to say no to him. And as we talked about the other day, Prince Charles will never, ever hire people around him that say no to him. They all are in this pact, I guess, to fall on the sword to protect him. So when he's in this situation, what does he do? A baby is available? Okay, I'm using the baby as cover. This is, like Terry said, this is spineless. He has no backbone to stand up. And even the statement, about not accepting cash anymore, even then it was like, instead of taking responsibility, it's like, oh, he operates via advice. Yeah, well, a lot of us get advice, but you're again responsible for the one that you accept. Even if you get advice, you're the person, supposed to be the head of your whatever, your company or the monarchy or whatever, or at least your household. The final decision rests with you. You get to decide of all the advice you receive, which one you're going to take, and then whichever decision you take, that is on you. You can't be putting it on other people like, oh, well, I only did it because I took advice from people. You're supposed to be the head of your household. You're supposed to be the leader. Therefore, the final decision is yours. Therefore, when it falls apart, you take the blame. So again, spineless, unreal. Let's see. Lottie G says, that's why Meghan should not let this go. The royal family needs to release the report. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what she's going to do, how she's going to respond to this. One of the things I'm happy with Meghan is doing right now is she's not responding to any of it, because everyone expects her to do it now so that the narrative could be ramped up and all of that stuff. She's staying quiet. She's staying out of it. Whether down the road she decides on her time in her, when she is ready to deal with this and to be able to do in a way that is right for her, that's, we'll see. But I'm glad she's not, at least right now. I mean, I don't know if she'll answer, about it later today. I don't know. But at least right now, what I see is that she's not reacting, which is what they are expecting her to react to it and do something, controversial so that they can have much more headlines. And she's not reacting to any of it. And so I'm glad to see that, because that's how you retain your power. You're not reacting. You decide when you are going to act, and you act. And that is operating from a place of power, and that is operating from a place of control. So I'm happy to not hear from her about this right now. When she is ready, if she wants to, she'll do it. And I like that strategy a lot more than reacting to this nonsense. Sonia says, Petal noticed that Harry and Meghan did not make public that Charles had seen the kiss. That is so important, Sonia. Harry never said. I mean, if we remember, when he did the interview with Hoda, he didn't even want to talk about it. He didn't even mention the father. He switched the subject. He never mentioned about any of those that he met them, and that Charles had seen, or the Queen had seen the kids. The Sussexes have mentioned nothing about it. If you guys remember, for a couple of weeks after the Jubilee, the whole narrative from the royals' favorite press is that the royals, that they warned the Sussexes not to leak any information from the that happened, with their visit to the during the Jubilee. And this was a whole narrative that the Sussexes have been warned that they are not to leak anything, that their cameras were banned so they don't reveal anything. Yet, this came out yesterday where Prince Charles, his people literally leaked this information during a review of the, of the Sovereign Grant Report, and there has been no outrage for the fact that Prince Charles allowed his people to leak. So this is the white royals over there can leak. They can leak their, Prince Charles's private meeting with Lily and Archie and Meghan and Harry. But I mean, fire and brimstones to Harry and Meghan if they dare leak. So the white royals could do it, but anything that has involving the black royals, they can't leak anything. And it's just like, are you serious? And again, this is the hypocrisy. This is the double standard. And it's unreal that nobody has said a word. In fact, they are celebrating the fact that Prince Charles has leaked private information about his grandchildren. They're literally celebrating this, and the same people would be, throwing fire and brimstone at Harry and Meghan across the pond if they had said. I mean, it's just unreal to me. But thank you, Sonia. Great point. Joy says, I don't know what they're saying in the morning shows about bullying, but stated was was a bully, and it was confirmed because her lawyers will deal with it. Let's just read this again. I'm not sure I understand it. I don't know what they're saying in the morning shows about bullying, but stated was a bully, and it was confirmed because her lawyers will deal with it. I'm not sure exactly what you're saying, Joyce. If you could explain, if you could explain, that would be. Or maybe my brain is just not here. I could be. Maybe I just lack understanding. I do in this situation. So Neva said, as Petal's an older person, I couldn't forgive Charles for pulling Harry's security. This showed me that he was not loved and didn't care if he was killed. I was done with Charles then. Yeah. I mean, that for me is a big test of if you care about your child or not. I mean, I think all of us in the Sussex Squad community had gone off about that one. Because when you're in a position where you put your child, your son and his wife and infant child in danger by pulling their security, and then not only that, allowing it to be leaked where their location was when they are the most vulnerable. Yeah, those things for me are that is, yeah. I don't know, we always want to work towards forgiveness. You always want to, but that would be a hard one for me to forgive. That would be hard one for me. I mean, if eventually want to get there, but that would take me a while. That would really take me a while. So I appreciate that, Nevers. I totally right there with you in that one. That's just, yeah. So Sussex here, you're feeling better. Oh, I'm so happy you're here. Oh, good. Happy you're here. Let's see, moving. Teresa 101 says, 1001 says, Petal, I feel the same way. I think KP allegedly leaked the location. Yeah. I think it's they leaked it to Rebecca English, I think it was at the time. It's, for me, they're all, I'm thinking in terms of the palace, including all of them. But that would be hard. You put your kid in danger and put them in a place where they literally could be killed. Put them in a situation where by pulling their security. No, that would be hard for me. That would be a hard one. Lydia, hi Lydia, awesome moderator, says, I think Prince Charles thought he could force Prince Harry back to the UK. A power move. Yeah, absolutely. It was, I'm going to pull your security. You're going to have to come back for me to protect you. That is crazy. You don't do that. You don't do stuff like that when you're putting people's lives at risk. Why? So you can control them? I mean, seriously? But anyways, let's see a couple more. Oh my gosh, it's only one. Baron is coming up. So let's see a couple more before we run off to Baron. Claire Kane. Hi, Claire Kane. How are you? Claire says, the antics of Charles, William, Kate, and even the Queen have been eye-opening, very eye-opening. The family and institution is ruthless and cruel. They have done Harry and Meghan so dirty. I'm telling you, dirty dogs. That's what I say. Absolutely dirty dogs. They have done dirty, and as we always want to say, so until they do right, they will not know peace. At least Sussex Squad will not let them know peace because of what they have done. Wendy, wait, not that one. sorry, Lydia. You see, this thing always jumps, and whenever I'm about to click, it jumps. Wendy Lohman says, the PR war has begun. Bring your popcorn, everyone. Yes, we see it. The Prince William's PR and the Prince Charles PR, they are battling tooth and nail. I would say may the best person win, but there are no best person there. It's like, with the it's the worst of the worst between those two battling. So, Baron has moved this chat to, he is on at 5 Eastern. Oh, okay. So we have a few more minutes. Baron has moved this chat to 5 p.m. So there you go. Thank you so much, Lydia. As always, I never get Baron's, I always have to go fishing to find it, and I didn't have time today. So, okay, so we have we have a little more time. We don't need to rush. So let's see, so we can get more people talking. Yeah. Mashar, hi Mashar, how are you? Says Harry knows now why the cage bird sings. Harry was that cage bird. He is singing because he's free. Harry will never go back to live with that unroyal family. And such a great point. I mean, it's like, as he said, they're trapped there, and he has now tasted freedom. It'll be really hard to see Harry going. I mean, you can't say anything is impossible, or I don't know people's minds, they can do whatever, but it's hard to imagine him wanting to go back into that situation, knowing, I mean, you could see the cages, it's not even invisible anymore, it is clear. I mean, what is it, I saw an article the other day, I think one of those archives, it might have been royal underscore reporter who archived it, but one of the garbage twins, Dan Rutan, he wrote an article about Prince Charles where he's like, we were trying to be there for you, but with all this cash in a bag, millions in a bag and millions in a suitcase stuff, we don't really think we don't think you are the right person to be king. And basically that's what his Daily Mail article says. And part of that, he talked about, when Prince Charles went and basically, in the way how Dan Wooten has said it, basically popped his mouth off at, talking about being appalled at what, the British policy with Rwanda. It literally says that, there what is happening now with all the reveal of Prince Charles's cash, taking cash in a bag, etc., is retaliation for that. And so you can see the cage. You can see, like, he literally said the quiet parts out loud, that the reason that report came out was in retaliation for Prince Charles's stance, and speaking out about, wanting slavery, and or the slave trade to be taught in schools. And that's when Dan Wooten, garbage twin, even wrote, "We want our royals to be whiter, to remain whiter than white." And we know, I mean, Dan Wooten knew exactly what he was writing when he wrote that. He knew exactly the response it would get, and a lot of that was for attention. But we understand what that means. He wants white to be white. He wants the royal family, and that's what a lot of their thinking is. One of the reasons they chased Meghan Markle out of the country. They're not even pretending anymore to not be racist. It's out in your face. They are saying it with their whole chest. And so this is the thing. This is the KG, and if he speaks out, and if they have that story, they have probably hundreds more on Prince Charles to keep him in that cage, to keep him imprisoned. So when Harry said they're imprisoned, and they, when he said that, they were like, "No, we're not in prison. We are free. We want." Yeah, right. Yeah, right. So, anyways, let's see who else is saying stuff. Oh, Wendy is asking, does anyone know Duchess Meghan's podcast edit? No, we don't. They just said summer. So my guess is her birthday. I think August 4th? It's August 4th, right? I never remember birthdays. I think it's August 4th. Anyway, my guess is her birthday, but it could be, it could be another day, but that's my guess. They said summer, and they're like, well, it's summering already. Get with it, So yeah. Let's see. Let's scroll down and see what anybody else is saying. Laura, is this Laurie or Lore? I don't know. Lord Gisette. Oh, I like that. I have a friend named Gisette. Lord Gisette says Charles' corruption could also be made public by Kate and Williams people, as King William's revenge of Charles setting them up for the Caribbean tour flop. I mean, that's a good point, but I mean, this has been coming out way before Charles. I mean, Charles kind of set them up for that flop too. But these reports have been coming out since last July. So I think maybe other reasons. as well. But this might have added, if it's Kate and William that's doing this. But this could also be, again, be the government doing the same. They will have, and again, the Times, who's been reporting on this. This is a Rupert Murdoch tabloid. So, Rupert Murdoch, I'm sure, has tons and tons of dirt on the royal family. So, who knows who's the one that's been leaking all the stuff. So, but whatever it is, Charles is very embarrassed. And this one, for some reason, is cutting way deeper than the others. So, yeah. Emerald says, a psychic said Meghan's podcast date is mid-July, but we know how these psychics get their info. Hey, maybe, so the psychic says mid-July. I'm saying, July 4th. So in the regular comments, maybe tell me when you think, and we can see who's right. I'm picking her birthday. So there you go. Let's see who else. Let's see who else is here. Karen says, I keep saying Charles would I think it probably should be Charles would do whatever it takes for control. Okay, so I keep saying that Charles would do whatever it takes for control, even to destroy lives. When you could do that to your child and an infant, I as done can't ever get over that. Okay, I can never, yeah. And I know M feels for her child's life. And I know how M feels for her child's. Yeah, it's hard to get over watching an adult use a child like this. I mean, we shouldn't be surprised because, we saw Kate and William do the same thing with when Harry and Meghan went to visit what's his name, singer guy when he was in Elton John, and they took the private jet, and basically Simon Case, who is now being called a lot, lying, basically, whatever he is, working with Boris Johnson right now, they all cooked up this thing to throw Harry, Meghan, and Archie under a bus by having Kate and William go in that cheap, one of those cheap flights, and having pictures take their picture to make them look so frugal, while the dastardly Sussexes are taking private jet to Elton John's house in France. And it's the same thing, through using children and throwing babies under a bus. They had no qualms doing it, so Kate and William do the same thing. It's just it's unreal. That they would do that. Mercedes says Prince Charles should not be king. Prince William definitely should not be king. So if people think past that, the most common thing would be to retire the monarchy and let the people rule. Hello, Mercedes. Exactly. It's time to abolish this nonsense. It's time to abolish it. None of them are fit to rule. I mean, again, nobody is perfect. Everybody makes mistakes. Nobody, you know what I mean? There is no, some people that are just flawless and everything. But the thing about the royal family that has put them in this box is that they tried for all these years to give the impression that, one, they are flawless, that they are some elevated people that, have been put there to rule by God. And that people basically should bow down to them because, well, they are just these special people who are perfect. And instead of being honest and real and be like, look, we're not perfect. We have flaws. We'd love to rule. We'd love to not rule, but we'd love to lead. But we are also human beings. We have failings. You know what I mean? If you are that open and honest with people couldn't be like, okay, yes, you're a mess, but you know what? You do have these qualities that, that is that of a leader. Harry and Meghan are not perfect. In any stretch of the imagination, we love them, but they're not perfect. They're going to make mistakes. They're going to do things that we're like, what? You did what? You know what I mean? But when you look at them, you're like, okay, they're imperfect people, but they do have quality of leadership. So that when we see it's like, okay, maybe that wasn't the best thing to do, and it's like, okay, but you can also relate to them and relate to your own weaknesses and or your own failings and your own faults, because they're human beings too, but also still respect them as leaders because you see those qualities that are there too. They're not trying to be perfect. And so the thing with the royal family, that they have put themselves in this box of supposed perfection, and every which way the box is breaking and stripping and falling apart, and they're trying to patch it up with, band-aids of tabloids, and they're using their tabloid band-aids to patch it up and all, and every time they do, another part of it rips. And it's just like, it's just nonsense. It is absolute nonsense. And then reporters are like, well, that's why they should keep it dim, and so that the light doesn't shine on the magic that's a royal. I was like, there is no magic. There is no magic. They don't want the light in, because if the light comes in, it'll see that there is, like, the emperor has no clothes. And if the emperor has clothes, it is patchwork. It is a mess. It's ripped to threads. There is no magic in the royal family. When the light comes in, you'll see the mess that it is, and that is what they're hiding. It is not magic. I mean, actually, a reporter literally said that. I think it was last week, and it was just like, are you serious? This is 2022. You still talking about nonsense about magic, royal magic, and they're like, this royal fairy dust nonsense, and it's like, come on. And the sad part is people actually believe them. People actually believe that. Margaret says the royals always use children up. Look at the way they did to those 3 Cambridge kids during the Jubilee. They worked them babies to exhaustion. Yes, Margaret, they worked them babies, and them babies acted out, and they're like, and it just, we saw it. There is, even when you get to the point where the Daily Mail is calling you out, the Daily Mail who uses those same kids and those gross calendar things that the Cambridges allow them to use their kids for. When reporters in the Daily Mail are calling you out, you have gone too far. So it was disgusting to see what they did to those kids. So anyways, let's going on. I'm just staying in the chat, see what you guys are saying. Let's say Lavertha August. Hi, Lavertha says, at least Boris Johnson must be happy with all this royal mess taking attention for him. He's probably having another party about it, because it is just like, he's like, for once, nobody's talking about my mess. Let the royals take it for a few days. Absolutely. He is partying somewhere. Joan says the emperor's a naked. Totally. And if they have anything, it's rags. Absolutely rags and falling off of them. So, oh my gosh, Church Nelly, I didn't even see you. Welcome back. I hope you're feeling better, Mama. Oh, I did not realize you were in the chat. I was like, somehow I missed you. So happy to have you back, Church Nelly. So, let's say. Nutty Doctor says, Baldy should wait for his turn. His behavior is like that of an impatient king in waiting, trying to overthrow his dad. That kind of action can be dangerous. Very. I mean, with all, even though he, and he wouldn't say it himself, but the way how his friends in the press are reporting, they're like, enough of Charles. We're going to get, we are going past you and onto William. And it's just like, you're going past him on at least Charles's quality, apart from, if you took away his mess, if you took away his corrupt behavior, Charles is actually qualified to be, if, judging from the work that he does. I mean, the guy has incredible work ethics in terms of like pure work. He has work ethics. He has accomplished a lot, in his life. He has done a lot, so if he didn't have this mess that he's, always involved in, these money mess, if you took all that stuff away, Prince Charles is actually qualified. What is Prince William qualified to do exactly? He hasn't done anything. He's not qualified to do anything. if you're going purely based on what you're qualified to do, then Prince Harry should jump past him, way past him, because Prince William has not done anything at all to prove that he is other than talk, to prove that he is in any way, shape, or form qualified or ready to lead. I mean, just look at the Charmless Offensive Tour. That alone gives you a whole view of what this man is. He is not qualified. He is not, you always have this thing like, he's been training since he was a little boy. He was trained, the Queen's mother was training him. And he's always with the Queen and learning from the Queen and all of that stuff. And then you see the Charmless Offensive Tour and you're like, no, he is not, even his great speech there. And as we talked about before, he went back to language from 21 years ago, that slavery is abhorrent. I mean, that's language from back in the day. He just basically copied, So no, Prince William is not qualified to lead anybody. He can't even lead Kensington Palace, that mess. So no, and again, none of them are qualified and none of them should be leading anything. The monarchy needs to be abolished. So anyway, let's see. Karen M, our awesome moderator, Karen says Queen Mother was not a kind person, so she is not a good example. No, she was not. And I'm reading some stuff about her. It's like, oh my goodness, she was not. But that's what they were saying, that she would, take time with William and she would be training William. I guess in the way of being a monarch, I'm assuming that's what I don't know what the other stuff they would be talking about, And so, but that's the narrative, that they've been training him since he was and obviously he hasn't learned anything if they've been training him, because he hasn't done anything. He's accomplished nothing, and he's not proven that he can lead anything. So, again, if you're going on pure, people who are qualified to lead, that would be Prince Charles and Prince Harry. The rest of them are no. So, let's see. Jessica, hi Jessica. Jessica says, and Mumbles isn't qualified for anything either. I mean, how can he possibly overtake Charles? Again, neither of them are qualified. But how he can overtake Charles? Yeah, the tabloids. Because see how what has Charles and Camilla been doing the last, couple months? Kissing up to the tabloids, because they are run by the tabloids. The tabloids, I guess, supposedly have the pulse of the people. If you listen to what their narrative, but that's what they've been doing, kissing up to the tabloids. And so if the tabloids are like, that's why Charles is in a panic now and using a baby for cover, because his favorite tabloids, who him and Camilla, as we've seen that picture of Camilla just what was it last week with the owner of the Daily Mail, Lord Rothermere. She was basically doing an event for the Daily Mail, and she was there with Rothermere and all of those. That's what they've been doing. They've been kissing up to their favorite tabloids, and now their favorite tabloids is the one that is losing confidence, as in, Garbage Twin Dan Wooten's article the other day. The other one's now losing confidence, as in him, that he can be king with his, cash in a bag, his millions in a bag story. So yeah, it's just, if they go against him, he knows his days are numbered. So let's see. Therese says William is dishonoring his dad. That's breaking the fourth commandment, so his days are numbered. Well, I don't think they go by that, unfortunately. There's no honor among thieves, as I said. Neither of them are good. So, William doesn't respect Charles to begin with. He never did. If you know anything about their story, William never, he doesn't even, I don't think, one of the things even Robert Jobson wrote about, he says, William doesn't respect his elders, and I am assuming that probably includes the Queen. He doesn't respect them. He definitely does not respect Charles. So that is very, very clear. And even reporters who actually like him talk about that. So yeah. Let's see. Let's see who else is chatting. You take a few more. Anne Lewis. Let's see what Anne Lewis has to say. Oh, there we go. There's Anne. Hi, Anne. How are you? Anne says Princess Diana was concerned when Prince William was trained by his great grandmother, who was involved in her marriage to Prince Charles. Who is training Prince George? I don't know. I didn't know about this. This is interesting. So she was concerned that he was being trained by his great grandmother. That's interesting. I never read that before. I need to find out more about that. I know one of the things she was concerned about was that the Queen's mother would always invite William only to have tea or lunch, or I guess, with her, and she wouldn't invite Harry. So they're created, that was like the start of that separation and that start of that friction. So Princess Diana, what I understand, Princess Diana would give Harry extra love so that he doesn't feel rejected or neglected in that way. And this, again, the royal family just doesn't learn. So that I did hear. Who is training Prince George? I don't know. I would assume Prince William and Kate. I have no idea. But we saw that the same separation with Prince George and his two siblings, especially like in that photo they did a couple of years ago, with just the heirs to the throne. And then you're like, well, what are the other? I mean, they're little, so they don't really know. But then they're gonna grow up and wonder, well, why? So that sort of thing is the same thing they're breeding. They just don't learn. They literally just don't learn. So yeah. Mercedes says, let the moderators do their job back and forth between the squaddies is not a good thing for any channel. It needs to stop. Not sure what this is, but are we just not behaving in the chat? So let's hope, I'm hoping that there is no trolls in the chat. I didn't see any. I'm scrolling fast, so I may have missed. So I hope we're behaving in the chat, and our moderators are doing a great job. Thank you guys so much. Let's not make their lives difficult. And, they have kindly given up their time to moderate the chat to make it a safe place. So let's make their job easier. And let's respect each other in the chat. That would be really, really, really helpful. Thank you. So yeah. So let's move on. Let's see. Let's see who else. Christine Soriano. Let's see, Christine. Oh, hi everyone. Welcome back, Church Nelly. Glad she's feeling better. I am happy Church Nelly is feeling better as well. And hello, Christine. R. Smith says Charles' behavior has had so many far-reaching effects beyond the obvious. No wonder William does not respect him. They do not treat each other with respect. And that's it. Absolutely. I mean, respect is earned. And when you do some of the things that Prince Charles has done, it is really hard because, it's always like, okay, we need to respect our parents, and that's fine, obviously. But then sometimes what do you do when the parents is literally doing things that really make you like, I can't respect that behavior. I can't respect that thing that you're doing, especially if you're using me to get attention and you're using me and using my name in tabloids, so tabloids would destroy my name. How do you respect the parents? So then you come to the situation, it's kind of like, I just can't respect that. And so, yeah, he's put his kids in a position where they're having a hard time respecting him. So, it's like you always want to respect your parents, but then when the parents do stuff like this, then it's like, what are you trying? What do you put your kid, you tie your kids' hands behind their back. You have to be respectful. Respect is earned. So anyways, all right, so let's do a couple more. I know we all are busy and have things to do, places to go, people to see. So let's do a couple more. And yeah, let's see. Ioma says neither Charles and William can win even a small council election. Now about Harry, he can lead a nation of hundreds of millions. Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. I don't see anybody who would vote. I mean, well, maybe the Rangers would vote to have William, if there was a vote, to have William or Charles. I mean, no. But yeah, people will vote for Harry. I mean, a lot of people are like Harry, whatever. But a lot of that, they are jealous because Harry is able to do what he wants, and a part of that is that it's like that begrudging respect that Harry is able to stand up and do what he wants to do. And so, yeah, I mean, I can see people would vote, hundreds and millions probably would vote for Harry over William and Charles any day, if they, if that came to a vote. So anyway, Lydia says, I apologize for stepping away at work and came back to drama. I am sorry for all who were attacked. Lydia, you do not have to apologize for anything. You are doing what you're doing. I appreciate you being here. I don't know exactly what happened, but guys, we are all adults in here. Please not be attacking each other, and please respect each other. We are all adults. We do not need that in the chat at all. And I don't know specifically what happened, but I'm hoping that whatever happened, that it's over, that we don't have this. So please, again, we are all adults. We know how to take care of them. I'm going to assume that everyone on here know how to take care of themselves in this kind of space. That's one of the things that's very important to me, is that whatever space I'm in, that it's protected and it's safe for everyone, that nobody feels attacked or, in any way. And that's one of the reasons I'm the way I am, especially having trolls, to have trolls in a chat whenever, at all. So please let us not disrespect each other in any way possible. Let's make it a safe place and nothing negative for each other. Nobody needs that. Nobody needs to take their time out of the day to come to be a part of a chat, to be a part of a podcast and feel and leave any negative vibe. I don't want that. I definitely don't want that. And I don't think any one of you want that either. So if we're going to be here, let's make it a positive space. If you need to, there's something is a problem, there is a regular chat. You can definitely tell me. You can write it in there and I'll get back to you. Or if you know each other outside of this chat, maybe direct that, whatever the issue is, maybe talk to each other. But yeah, in this space, let's just be positive and be able to deal with each other in a adult, positive, professional way. So that said, I mean, anyways, thank you, Joyce. No bad, as Meghan says, no bad energy. I love you guys so much, and I don't want any one of us to leave with a negative feeling at all, in any sense of the word. That said, if you were a troll, this is not the place for you. This is not the place for you. We will kick you out. But among us squaddies, we don't need to have that. We, we want to be always having a positive mindset here for things. So even if we're talking about something like we're just talking about, it's negative in the sense of the story that we're talking about. But among us, let's keep that, again, we're all adults. We know how to handle ourselves. So anyways, I love you guys. Maybe we can let's find a positive tweet and we can end on a positive tweet. Let's see, something positive. And I will go back to, let's see, one of our things that are positive. So we all have a positive image. Oh, go back to Prince Harry and Prince Cecil. Yep, that's the image I want to leave it. Wonderful relationship with Prince Harry and Prince Cecil that we'll leave on a positive note. So let's see. A positive tweet. Somebody write something positive that, something that you have experienced that is absolutely positive, and we can end on something positive, just in case it's not already in the tweet, and I'll find it. Sonia says, Mod Squad, I appreciate your work, the work you do. Thank you. Absolutely. I appreciate too. Let's see. Hydrate, safe. Oh, Heckman says, hydrate, in the words of Archie. Hydrate, stay safe, no bad energy. Absolutely. Yes. So anyway, guys, service is universal. That is an absolute yes. We're ending service is universal. Thank you, Therese. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me for um, peace and love and happiness. Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me the last hour and a half. Oh my gosh, it's been a while. An hour and 44 minutes. Thank you so much. Again, if you haven't already, please click the notification bell. Click the subscribe button and join us. Subscribe and click the notification bell so that you will know when we drop a video. So yeah, definitely do that. Definitely help us to grow the channel. Please share this video. Please like us. Yes, please like us. Please like us. And there are ways if you'd like to, as others have done today, if you'd like to support the channel financially, that would be most appreciated. You can join our 2 cents crew, join our channel. That way you can do it monthly. We also do have merchandise. There we have PayPal, we have Cash App. At the bottom of this video, you will see a $ inside of a heart, and it says a thanks. You can also support us that way as well. Again, nothing. You are not obligated in any sense of the word to do this. But if you'd like to, we appreciate it. So thank you so much for all of you who thank you so much for all of you who have supported us in the past and will do it in the future. We are most grateful. Thank you so much. So that's it, guys. Thank you. I will see you next time. Oh, I will not be around tomorrow. Actually, I will say I am on a shoot tomorrow, and I have no idea when that shoot is going to be ending. I'll be doing photography tomorrow, most likely all day. So I'll be thinking of you, and I will, Lord willing, gives us all life. I will see you guys, and I'll chat with you on Saturday. But I love you guys. Have a fantastic day, fantastic Friday, and I will go out with some music, into space music. Yes. There we go. Peace and joy. Thank you, Sheil. That's what we all need. Peace and joy. See you guys. Bye.